Hey everybody, welcome to our week 1 summary for Math 6. I just wanted to go over everything that we've gone through and all the important key terms that we've talked about and things that we've learned throughout our first week. So let's get into it. This whole entire week and this whole unit we're going to be talking about area. And area is defined as the number of square units that cover a two-dimensional region without any gaps or overlaps. So if we have this figure A here, it may not be a rectangle, which we know how to find the area of, but we can really just find that we can count the square units in it, which gives us the area. Now, when finding the area, there's a couple of things that we can use to help us find area. These two words, decompose and compose, are going to be super helpful. Often we may get something that we don't necessarily know the area of. So if we were to decompose it and then rearrange those pieces and then compose it back together, that just means that we're taking it apart and then we are rearranging it, moving the pieces around, and then putting it back together in a more helpful shape. When we decompose, rearrange, and then compose things, that doesn't change the area because we're not subtracting or adding any extra area. All we're doing is just moving things around. It doesn't change what the area is. A couple of things that are super important when we're finding area. First of all, if we have two figures that can be placed on top of each other so that they match up perfectly, then we know that they have the same area because they take up the same amount of space. Often, like I said before, we can decompose these things and rearrange the pieces so that it helps us a little bit more so we can find its area. I want to show you what it looks like when we do this. Often, let's say here we have two square units. Well, these two square units can be broken up into 4 triangles. Then we can move those triangles around to create one big triangle. Well, this one big triangle has the exact same area as these two squares because it's got the same pieces. All we did was decompose it and rearrange it. Same thing goes if we had this original triangle, we cut it up, we moved pieces around, we put it back together, we could find out, hey, this triangle has an area of 2 square units. There are 3 things that I want to go over as far as very special ways that we can help ourselves find area to things. First of all, when we have shapes that we don't recognize, shapes that we're not sure how to find the area of, we're always going to be able to try and reason out how to find the area. There's always a way. In this case here, we have a big T shape. Well, we don't have the formula for the area of a T, but we do have the formula for the area of a rectangle. So what we can do is we can cut it, use our magical scissors here, and cut it across this line. Now we have 2 separate rectangles that we know how to find the area of. If we can find the area of each piece, then add it together, that'll give us the total area. Second, if you see this one here, we have this really wonky shape that doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. But again, we can cut them up and we then move those pieces around. If we move these pieces around, we then end up forming a rectangle. Again, a shape that we know how to find the area of. And lastly, there is this, sometimes we see something where it's a rectangle, but then there's this like blank space in the middle. Well, what are we going to do? How do we find the area of this? What we can do when we're trying to find a shape with some missing piece, we can find this total area here. Then we just find the area of that missing piece and we subtract the 2 because we're basically cutting this piece out. We're taking it out. And often when we take things out, it means we are subtracting. The area of a figure is always measured in square units. So whenever we're trying to deal with area, if I ask you the area of something, you're going to say that the area is this number of square units. But the units can change. So in this case here, if we're looking at this rectangle, we know the units are centimeters because it says 8 centimeters and 4 centimeters. So to find the area of the rectangle, we just multiply length times width and get 32. But the answer is not just 32, it's 32 square centimeters because that's our units. That's all I got for Math 6 summary for week 1. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, I'll be happy to help, so please reach out. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon.